Hi guys, it's Tracy Lynn Count. We're live here with Hollywood Vibe and Entertainment, and we're in Las Vegas at the Palms Hotel. We just finished with a seminar with Elaine LaLanne and Jon LaLanne, and it's amazing. We are here with them today. Welcome. It's so exciting to see you.
Thank you. Yes, I hope you enjoyed it.
I absolutely did, and informative.
I told secrets, didn't I? I gave all sorts of secrets.
She did. I felt like I was in the life and the world of your life, you know, being with Jack and your son and John's stories as well. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Well, I enjoyed that, and I want to inspire. I want to help the legacy of Jack LaLanne, and I want to. Jack was such an inspirer, you know, and you couldn't be around him without being inspired. And so Jon LaLanne and we want to continue that, and we're doing that through seminars and lectures, and we love it. And we share our innermost secrets too, don't we?
Yes, and you are inspiring and motivating so many people, and it's great with the millennials and the new era coming up. And we talked about today a little bit about how, you know, our younger kids and these kids growing up, they're in front of the TV and Facebook and all these things. So
well, we were always worried, and Jack was always worried about the younger generation being overweight, you know, and we had different problems earlier in the 50s and, you know, the 40s and the 50s, but now the millennials they're sitting there with their computers, and you have to get up and move. If you're sitting by a computer, you really should get up. You know, what I do is my computer, you know, I'm thinking, you know, I'm getting a little here and a little there, and I'm thinking, so what I do is I go and walk my dog every, you know, maybe every hour or every couple of hours.
Yep.
So if you can get up and move, and if you're on a computer and you're just going like this all day, or, you know, for hours, just make yourself get up and take a move around.
Yeah.
Or you can run in place. You can do all sorts of things. You can lift your leg into your lift your legs up. You lift your leg up. You could cross your legs, sit on a chair and cross your legs. And Jack was big for the chair. Let me tell you a story. Jack, we got a postcard one day, and they said, Jack, I've been watching your show for 10 years, and you know what? That chair hasn't lost a pound. He was well known for his chair exercises.
That's cute. That's funny. I love that. And so, share with us, Elaine, how did you meet your husband, Jack LaLanne?
Well, I was on television, and I started on television. You know, I'm going to tell you my age right now. I started on television in 1948, and I had my first commercial in 1948. The television was on at 6 o'clock at night. And that was just starting, and so that's when they started rolling, and you have to go to the transmitter to transmit. And a lot of people don't realize, especially the younger generation, they have no idea. Where did you learn this? Where did you go to school for television? Honey, we started, and we had to learn as we went. Yep. But so I met Jack I had him on his interview I was on a television show, 4:30 to 6 every day with 12-piece orchestra that left over from radio. This was in the early 50s, and he came in, did 1,000, well, not 1,000 push-ups. I don't know how many he did, an hour and a half show with a 12-piece orchestra, and then sometimes the orchestra would go up and down as he was doing the push-up, and he never stopped for the whole hour and a half. And then he was on the Art Baker's You Asked For It show nationwide, did 1,033 push-ups in 23 minutes. So that's
I would fall in love too.
Well, I didn't fall in love with him then. It was like 3 or 4 years later.
Okay.
And then I always tell everybody we danced at a company party, and we were dancing ever since. But I won't go into the big long story.
What was it like to be the wife of Jack LaLanne? I mean, you're such an inspiration yourself. I mean, he's obviously instilled all these beautiful things into you that you can also instill to other people.
He changed my life because I was eating donuts, you know, and chocolate donuts. He said the only thing good about the donut is the hole in the middle. But that's exactly how I. And then I was smoking, and I eating bear claws, and I candy bars for lunch, and it was not. And I was on the road to doom, because I don't think I'd be alive today if I had continued on the way. A lot of my friends that ate like I did, you know, in those days, they're dead now. And but I'm still perking along pretty darn good. I can still do a full body push-up.
I love it. You look incredible. And your spirit, and I said to you too, just the spirit in your eyes is incredible. And your energy and passion for this industry still is so remarkable. So thank you.
My life. I owe my life to it.
Yeah. What was the biggest quality that you admired in your husband, Jack LaLanne?
Believing in what you can do. And if you don't believe in yourself, then you're doomed. You got to believe in yourself. You can't say I can, I won't, I never can do that. You never say never. Never say never again, because here I am in love again. That's an old 40s song.
She's so sweet. I love it. Oh, I love it. It's so true, and we saw in some of the footage there today that every birthday that he had, he was towing boats handcuffed. He swam to Alcatraz.
Yeah,
I mean, I never knew that.
His hands were cuffed and his ankles were cuffed.
Yeah.
And so how did he swim like that? Well, he swam like this,
Yeah.
like a dolphin, and his whole body would go up and like this. And he pulled, his last feat was, he pulled 70 boats with 70 people in Long Beach Harbor, 1.5 miles. And so I show a lot of his feats. I show a lot of our bloopers.
Yeah.
And I show, Arnold Schwarzenegger saying he's the Pope.
Yeah. So besides health, Elaine, what was the biggest secret to your successful marriage for 52 years, was it? And 6 years together?
And 6 years together.
Okay.
We dated for 6 years. We didn't live together.
Okay.
But anyway, in those days you didn't do that.
Yes.
You were a good girl.
Yeah.
But anyhow, my secret is friendship.
Okay.
Every time that we were asked that question, we answered the question. We're friends. If you have a friend and you don't get mad at your friend, and a sense of humor.
Yes.
You gotta have a sense of humor. If you don't, Jack turned everything into a sense of humor. If we disagreed on anything, I always ended up laughing. He always made me laugh. So
I can see that from the footage that we saw today. It was so nice to be able to share those memories and you guys laughing together and just really respecting each other too. I saw that there.
That's right. Yeah. We did a lot of respect for each other. And we took up water skiing at the same time. We took up a lot of stuff, golf at the same time. We became golfaholics. So we just did a lot of things together. And then we ended up lecturing together. We did a lot of lectures all over the country.
Great. And who were some of the people that your husband, Jack, admired in the bodybuilding industry? Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno?
Oh, yes. And he admired anybody that worked out.
Yeah.
He saw you, and he was always telling, he'd see somebody who worked out and he'd have a nice chest and they were wearing the t-shirt and he'd say, How's the workout? And we'd see him, he was very short, and he'd see the tall guy. He says, how's the weather up there?
He sounds like he had a great sense of humor. Yeah. Did he have one particular person that he was mentored by in the industry?
Well, he mentored himself pretty much.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Paul Bragg inspired him. He wanted to be a lecturer. In those days, he didn't know television was coming along, and lecturing was the thing to do. He wanted to talk to crowds of people, and he had no idea was he ever going to be on TV, and really change the life of a lot of people, and really changed the whole industry, I think. But he was inspired by Paul Bragg because he went to his lecture. He was a very sick kid. Went to his lecture and he said, "I don't care what your age is. I don't care what your physical condition is. You can be reborn again." And that hit a light bulb. And he started working out at the YMCA. He found weights at the YMCA in a box, and it was a lock box, and he was able to wrestle somebody to get to use them. And then he went and made weights on his own. He started in his backyard, and in high school bought Grey's Anatomy and read it cover to cover. And then he went to chiropractic college, and that's why he knew so much about the body.
Wow, yeah, because you learn a lot in the
trial and error with him.
Yeah.
So he didn't, he learned a lot of the muscles and the kinesiology from chiropractic.
Absolutely. And another remarkable part of this whole story is your son, John, and I would love to bring him in because he's here with us today. So, John, come on in.
So why don't I move and you can sit to talk.
Have a sandwich.
Yeah, so we'll get all nice and close. John LaLanne, welcome
Hello.
to Hollywood
How
Vibe
are
and
you?
Entertainment. Fantastic. This makes my day. As you can see, my world has been inspired by bodybuilding and fitness and health and nutrition. So you guys are such big inspirations to me. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. It was great to be speaking here.
Yeah.
And we had a little crowd, but we did our job. We were effective. We were
Yes.
effective. And somebody asked a question about the Millennials, right? And I'm a professional surfer. I make surfboards. I'm out on the water all the time with all walks of life.
Yeah.
But I'm around a lot of kids. And I try to squeeze in every once in a while. You know, some of Dad's philosophy to them, right?
Yes.
They need it. They're sitting at the computer. They need to start moving. And, you know, I'm in Hollywood a lot. There's a video game place that opened. And they sit there and compete against each other.
Yes.
And, you know, they're eating junk food and all this. And I want to go in there and go, you guys, you got to get out and, like, do something, right? You can move.
Yes.
Because I think in the long run, it's really going to be detrimental to all of them. If you don't move, you're going to die an early death. You really are.
Yeah.
We were moving since the beginning of time when the car was invented.
Yeah.
That's where Dad got his thinking from. He says, look, we're having too much done for us.
Yes.
Right? We're meant to move. And so moving, I think, is the most important. He preached to me. He says, if you're going to do one, if you're going to, you eat poor, but move. Right? I mean, if you're going to do one or the other.
Yes.
Of course, he didn't recommend eating bad food, but I think movement is the key to get out and just do something, even walk. You know, and I try to inspire the younger generation to have the mental attitude, the go for it attitude.
Yes.
I notice a lot of the millennials are, they're discouraged. Right? And I try to encourage them saying, look, there's opportunity out there. You just need to find the rat holes.
Yes.
Not only the physical, but the mental part too, right?
Yes.
You want to get that mental go for it attitude
Yep.
and that I can attitude to the younger generation. I truly care about them.
Yes.
I really do.
Yeah, and it showed today too. We heard about the ARC theory, so I love that. So let's touch on that as well, because Elaine and John both talked about this today. And this is with the principles that I practice as well with my clients and in my life as well, in my son's life too.
Well, Maria Shriver asked me how I've lived to be 91 and be so healthy and be so positive. And she said, I would love to have you write 3 words for my newspaper, you know, that's on her website. And so I was thinking, you know, 3 words, the first 3 words that everybody thinks about is body, mind, and spirit. But the 3 words that came to mind to me were attitude, resistance, and consistency. And the attitude is being positive.
Or the I can.
The
I can part.
And so too many people I can never do that. Oh, I could never speak. I could never do that. I could never, you know, won't, can't. You know, think about all the times you say those words, and that's what inspired me to think about attitude, because I have a positive. My glass is always full. It's not half full. It's full, and a lot of people's glasses are just the opposite.
Absolutely.
And think about what your glass is. Is your glass half full, or is it going the other way?
And then there's the resistance part, which is the adversity. So in my seminar today, my lecture, I talked about all the things that I've accomplished and learned, but I didn't get there without adversity, embarrassment, failure. Because if you don't fail, you don't know what the good part is, right? And you won't have the tools when the going gets rough, or when you really need to pull from your inner self. You've got to go through some sort of adversity.
Well,
that's the resistance part,
Yes.
right? To have
And
pain.
attitude too, though.
Attitude, but you want the resistance, because when you build a muscle, right, you've got to rip that muscle and resist, go through adversity
That's the secret.
in order to build.
That is the secret.
That's a secret. The secret of exercise results, getting the results from exercise and weight training, is resistance, because it gives you the resistance.
Yes, that's right. Right. Absolutely.
And then resist the foods that are undermining your health. Resist the foods, resist the snacking, then it's okay to snack once in a while. It's not what you do some of the time that counts, it's what you do most of the time that counts.
It's funny also, I was born inside the bubble. I inherently know what to eat, and I think it's easy, but I've got to think to myself, people don't know what's good and what's not good. And I think that everybody does, but they don't. So I think, reading the label, if a muffin, say, you're eating a muffin or a candy bar or whatever you're doing, if the ingredients are like the preamble to War and Peace, maybe you don't want to eat it because there's not many ingredients required to make this thing, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And what your mom Elaine said today too, and you also touched on it, is also picking and grabbing a little bit here, a little bit there, and going up to the refrigerator and putting a picture of yourself or your goal weight or what you want to be like or where you once were.
Those are the first two of the arc. The A is attitude, the R is next, resistance, and then there's the consistency.
Yes.
So that finishes the arc. And then we want you to remember the arc because consistency is the last word, the last third word. Consistency and persistence.
Yes, consistency is part of the persistence that I was talking about today to accomplish things. And I've noticed that a lot of younger people, they're so discouraged. And the things that I accomplished in my generation, we just went for it. We did it.
Yeah.
But you had to be persistent, right? And you had to keep going and going and going, just like Tony Robbins would tell you, right? Mm-hmm. Before Tony Robbins, there was Dad, right? Yeah. Telling you could do it. And you've got to keep going and going and going because if you quit, you're not going to get there. It's just physics, right?
Yep.
So if you get beat down, you got to pop back up again. Unfortunately, it's not fun.
Nope.
But on the other side, the road less traveled is the most rewarding type of thing, right? Absolutely. The tougher road. If you take the easy way out, it always winds up biting you right in the rear, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Another little tip is moderation. If you do, the first time I ever met Jack, he said, if you do everything in moderation, you cannot go wrong. Yeah. Too many people, like he always uses the example of, if one apple is good, you wouldn't eat 100, would you?
That's a very good point.
Keep it dirty enough to be happy and clean enough to be healthy.
Right? I like that. I've never heard that.
Yes.
John, what was your most profound memory being the son of your father, Jack?
I remember going to spa openings, and he was like a rock star. The people that lined up to see him, and I just didn't know what to think because I didn't know any different. You wake up every morning and your dad's on television. Yeah. I mean, how do you describe that? And I didn't think anything of it at the time. I had my own things going. I had my own goals. I was always been my own man. I think Dad kind of taught me that, but I never wanted to be like him because I didn't think he's here already, right? Be yourself, everyone else is taken type of deal. Yeah. But growing up with him, I just remember people looking up to him and all of the moments of when he had the spa openings and going into the television show and the makeup room. Yeah. That was awesome because they were getting ready for the show and the lights and the cameramen.
He didn't like makeup though.
No, he didn't. He didn't. But one good thing was he had all of the crew working out. Right? Okay. There was like 11 cameramen back then. Yeah. Now there's one, right? Yeah. But everybody was doing the squats. Some of them were smoking, but at least they were exercising, right? So, but I remember the show. It was really, really fun. But those are fond memories, And right now I'm outside the bubble because we've been showing up to the trade shows, hearing people's stories, how Dad affected their lives, and it's heart-wrenching. It really is. Yeah. It is.
He has been a huge inspiration to me over my lifetime, and he still continues to be. And I just appreciate the two of you, how you've kept his legacy going. And it's so great to see because, we want our young children and the millennials of the future to be healthy and live and have longevity and the spirit of, that you have in both of you right now. And just to be able to teach this and make sure that we keep our kids safe and alive and healthy. because it's not about the physicality. Great to look good and stuff, but it's also being the health and the holistic part of it too.
Yeah, the inside as well as the outside, right?
If you want to know more, a lot of people don't know a lot about Jack LaLanne, and you're talking about a lot of things that he did in his swims and everything. If you want to know more about Jack LaLanne, we have a website that's jacklalaine.com, and so we'd love to have you. And then we also have a website, corestrength1.com. So.
And Elaine and John, how do we find you on social media? I know you've got some speaking engagements coming up, and we'd love to collaborate with you and also bring you on the show Hollywood Vibe Sports and Life, and maybe even come to the home and have a sit-down interview with you and learn more about you two as well.
Yes, I think that we'd love to do that. And Mom's lecture was amazing in the University of South Carolina, spreading the message and keeping Dad's memory alive. And the first that he had, all of the things that Dad accomplished, people don't know, and we need to let them know. We need to let everybody know where all of what they see around them in the health and fitness industry today came from.
Absolutely.
Right? In South Carolina, it was this gal is a professor down there, and she's with the South Carolina University, and she's Alana, and she has fit for everyone. So
That's great.
And that's what we feel. We want everybody we want fit for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I always say, Dad, the television show, the medium of television, how many people that he reached, right? That show saved a rich country from poor health. Right? He flipped the whole generation. I saw it happen. I saw everybody start to think younger, behave younger, stay more active, and even the mental part of it. Just knowing that you're playing tennis, knowing that you're doing whatever you love, keeps your mind happy, something to look forward to.
That's right.
Right?
Our Facebook. I'm on Facebook, and I'm
91.
Yeah.
See, no excuses, Dad.
21 years old, years young.
Years young, that's right.
But I'm on Instagram at 91, and I'm official Elaine LaLanne, and there's official Jack LaLanne, and then I'm also on Facebook. Jack's also on Facebook.
I'm John _LaLanne. That's JON _ LaLanne.
Amazing. I just want to thank you again. It's been such an honor today to be in the presence of both of you. And
It's an honor for us.
Thank you. And please continue to do what you're doing. And if we can help, and as we can help, because we can do this, it comes in numbers, power in numbers.
Yes.
If Jack were here today, he'd say you're advanced Jack LaLanne student.
Well, that is an honor in itself. Thank you. Thank you. Elaine LaLanne and John LaLanne, thank you so much for being on Hollywood Vibe and Entertainment today.
Okay.
And we will, yes.
From Hawaii.
Yay,
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to go back in and we're going to continue to inspire the rest of the world. So it's all about being healthy, being fit, being fantastic, and loving yourself, guys. We'll see you soon.